I want to talk today about how not to get robbed while traveling. Now, I have been traveling wow, the wind just knocked my camera down. Crazy. What was I saying? Yes, I want to talk today about how not to get robbed while traveling. I've been traveling for over 30 years, quite a bit, and I have been robbed, pickpocketed one time. And I would say one time in 30 years, I can't complain too much. And it could have been easily avoided. I am not victim blaming and I am not accepting responsibility. He was the thief. But normally I am more aware of what's going on, and I would not have given him the opportunity to be a thief. So while it is not my fault, I could have easily avoided it. I did make a video, this is probably almost 2 years ago. I got pickpocketed, someone stole my phone on a jeepney. I don't think I did a good job of explaining what happened. People misunderstood. They thought I was victim blaming, like it's my fault. No. Let me kind of put that in along with just general advice, and we'll have a discussion. If you choose... Okay, seriously, this is crazy. This thing keeps getting knocked down. I'm gonna have to hold the camera, which kind of defeats the purpose of a tripod. It's very windy. As I was saying, if you choose to steal, you are a thief. It is completely your fault to be a thief. You may be forced into that from whatever situation, whatever. You still chose it. Most people don't. And not to be prejudiced, but overall, I find in the Philippines especially, worldwide, most people are honest. In the Philippines, they are very honest. People I've seen, though someone will drop a 100 peso bill, it's like $2. 3 people are jumping after it, chasing after the guy, trying to give the money back. In the US, the first person would step on it. When people are gone, he'd lean over and pick it up. Generally, not always. There's going to be a lot of generalizations here. Deal with it. But yes, generally the Filipinos are very honest, hardworking people. They don't usually steal, and they're not, usually you don't get like the violent robberies and muggings. It happens, yes, but generally not. They're not most of the time you're not going to get clubbed over the head and they'll take your wallet. It's crimes of convenience. Make it easy for them, they might. Most people I've seen will see something and they'll, hey, you left this or what, and they'll return it. Actually, I dropped a wallet out of my pocket in Mexico, and a street beggar picked it up and brought it back to me. That's pretty honest. I mean, I find people are honest most places. I really do. I do not live in fear. Can't live that way. But my brother and I were talking about things we do to protect ourselves while traveling. When I was in the Navy, late 80s, early 90s, we were supposed to have the buddy system. Okay, now this is going to have a lot of do as I say, not as I do. Okay, we have the buddy system, never go out alone, blah, blah, blah. I went out alone a lot. I traveled by myself a lot. And you're not supposed to. But I wanted to just go wander the streets, look around, go shopping. Nobody wanted to do that with me, really. So I would just go. But you be careful. When you're walking down a road at night, especially, and you have 2 choices, a well-lit street full of people or a dark alley. Which one do you choose? That's situational awareness. That's a very extreme example, but the concept is there. Pay attention to your surroundings. Don't be stupid. Now, my pickpocketing experience was easily avoided if I was at my usual conscientious self. I carry a purse, as you'll find many people in the Philippines do. It's quite common. And on the jeepney, it sits on my lap and my arm goes over it. That's a good idea. Christmas Eve, jeepney's packed. I've got a chair, a desk chair in a box. I've got groceries, 5 or 6 kids, a bunch of the cousins, you know, my wife, one of her cousins, so there's a whole bunch of us. So I'm very distracted. I'm not in my usual frame of mind on a jeepney. We're crammed in tight. We're like, you know, shoulder to shoulder, really packed in tight. And so I allowed myself to be distracted. Again, I'm not blaming myself, but I know what happened. My wife was sitting directly across from me. These 2 guys get on. One sits next to me, one sits next to her. They paid together and said where they were going. I don't really pay attention to that, but since I was handing the money up, I heard what they said. Now, the guy starts pushing up against me really hard. It was crowded, but he was pushing harder than he needed to. So he was like really not giving up space and not sharing properly. You can ignore it, you can get mad, whatever, you know. I was distracted by all my stuff and the people and the things because I had a whole bunch going on. And that just kind of put me in a bad mood. I let it get me mad. And instead of like saying something like, hey dude, back the fuck off, which, you know, I think would have been an acceptable thing to say, I pushed up back against him. Kind of a passive-aggressive move, so I'm pushing against him while trying to pretend like I'm ignoring him, which is exactly what he wanted. So during this, he reached over, because I didn't have my hand over my bag because I was holding stuff. He reached over and snatched my phone out of my bag. Completely his fault for being a thief, easily avoided by me, if I was paying attention. So it's that situational awareness that I let slip, and I got robbed. But it's my first time in 30 years, so I'm not going to complain too much. And it was just a phone, who cares? My wallet with immigration card and all that would have been much worse. But I was talking to my brother, and he was saying that, like what he does, he wears no jewelry, no watch, no rings, nothing. Never has. His wallet is this very small wallet with a credit card and minimal amounts of cash. In the U.S., he usually has no cash. While traveling, he'll have a little bit of local currency. Goes in his front pocket. It's a tight pocket, so you can feel if somebody goes in after it. That's pretty safe. And he doesn't carry anything else with him. You know, he's got his phone in there too, and that's a camera. So he doesn't have anything else with him. I used to carry, late 80s, early 90s, a fanny pack. And I wore it in the front so I could protect it better, but it was a little pouch to carry all my stuff, because I always carry too much junk and I hate things in my pockets. Wallets in the back pocket was never comfortable. Also not a good idea because it's too easy for pickpockets. When I became a single father in the late 90s, I switched to a full-on purse. And in Dallas, in the late, that was a weird looking thing. People looked at me funny, but I had 2 kids and I had crap to carry, so I didn't care what they thought. An attitude that has helped me so much in life. That's why I'm old and fat, but I don't have high blood pressure or diabetes, because I live a stress-free life. I actually don't care what people think, for the most part. So I would carry a small purse. When I moved to the Philippines, everyone else was carrying bags, so I went back. I hadn't carried one in a while. I went back to carrying a small purse, because there's a lot of things you want to carry. You know, napkins, toilet paper, wet wipes, your money. If y'all want, I can make a video showing you all the crap I carry with me. That would be a weird video, but if you want to see it, let me know. I had a very small bag, and that's what I got robbed out of, was the small bag. Later, as I was getting more camera gear with me, I started carrying a larger and larger bag. Now I have this monster bag strapped on me all the time, because I have so much, it's over half camera gear. Such is life. But it's got lots of pockets, lots of zippers, everything's well protected, so I'm okay with it. You pretty much have to cut the strap and run with the whole bag, which could happen. But mostly, I think, if you pay attention, situational awareness, keep an eye on your surroundings, keep control of your stuff, just pay attention is the main thing. I know someone that has been robbed. He was pickpocketed twice in 1 year. He carried a very large wallet that was big enough to hold his passport. He lost 2 passports in 1 year in a foreign country. This is not fun. And so I was asking him, I'm like, okay, so how do you keep doing this? Where do you keep it? He said, well, I keep it in my front pocket. And he's got cargo pants. A lot of people wear cargo pants. But it's got that big, giant, loose pocket on the front. Don't use that pocket for anything other than a bottle of water or a Coke. That pocket is too loose. He kept his wallet. He says, well, it's safe. It's Velcroed. It's like, no, dude, it's so loose against your body. Somebody bumps you on one side, someone on the other side can reach in there and snatch your wallet. You will never feel that they were there. If it's at least in that top pocket with the slit, it's tighter and you can feel if they go in after it. Back pocket's a bad idea just because it is, but that cargo pants, big cargo pocket, terrible, terrible, unsafe place. Do not put anything of value in that pocket. I will drop my keys in there if I'm running into the store and I don't want to take my purse. Or I put a bottle of water in there. That's about all I put in that. It's not a good pocket. I would never put a wallet in that. He did it twice. And I'm like, you got to learn from your own mistake and don't do that again. I've talked to other guys that say they get pickpocketed so often they carry a fake wallet with like $10 in it just for the pickpockets. I'm like, okay, how about you protect yourself and you don't get, you get pickpocketed so much you need a fake wallet, you're doing something wrong. As I said, it's happened to me once in 30 years, and I know exactly what I did wrong and could have easily prevented it myself. Again, I'm not victim blaming, but I could have stopped it. Generally, I would have. I let myself get distracted. My situational awareness slipped. Because I allowed it to slip, I got distracted, and he took advantage of this situation. And again, that's something that I think, depending on where you live, it can vary. But here in the Philippines, well, actually here I'm in Dallas. See White Rock Lake behind me? I really miss this lake. But I live in the Philippines. So in the Philippines, they're generally very honest, hardworking people. They don't steal. You read online all these about they're all a bunch of thieves and crooks, blah, blah, blah. If it's that bad, I wouldn't live there. If my experience of it was that bad, I would move. I'm not telling anyone else to move. You do what you want to do. But if I was as unhappy as some of these people seem to be, I would go somewhere else. I did not travel 8,000 miles to be miserable or to be made a prisoner in my own home. I feel very safe there. In my experience, they are very honest, hardworking people. Most of the crimes that I have seen, other than, really high-level government stealing and corruption, but again, at my level, it doesn't really apply. From what I have seen in my experience, most of the crime at street level is crimes of convenience. You leave your bag open, you walk away from something, they help themselves. Don't give them that convenient crime. Be aware of what you're doing and what's going on. Situational awareness is the biggest thing that will save you. It keeps you away from robbers and drug dealers and pimps and all kinds of stuff, unless that's what you're looking for. Then you get the trouble that you look for. I've had my days of some of that back in my youth as well. But even that you can do carefully. Keep an eye on your surroundings. Pay attention to the people you're dealing with. When you have the option of going down a well-lit, crowded street or a dark alley, you know what to do. I go down the dark alley a lot more than I should. I'm really lucky I haven't been killed in the last 30 years. I can tell you a lot of what to do right, but don't follow me because I do a lot wrong, and I've been very lucky. But we're enjoying our trip to Dallas. I was just having this discussion with my brother yesterday about traveling and safety and paying attention. So I thought I would talk to y'all. Haven't done anything in a while. We're here at the lake. We'll get some pictures while we're here. And let's look at the lake. There's a big lake and a bicycle path that goes across the lake. I remember when they put that in. We had to ride our bicycles on the big highway, the big street, and that was a scary street to ride. So it's a 10-mile circle around White Rock Lake. It's a wonderful place. I miss it a lot. I really enjoy this lake. I used to live very close to it. It's one of the few things that when people, that's the first thing I think of about what I miss, other than my kids, of course, is my lake, White Rock Lake. Anyway, back to my vacation. I'm meeting some friends for lunch at a Mexican restaurant. A friend of mine's the manager. Should be fun. But I'm driving, so no drinking. That's unfortunate. Such is life.
Enjoy your day in paradise.